Okay, guys, I want to go over how to memorize the chapters. Okay, but I tell you, just remember the general chapters. The first thing you want to do is think about it, what you do when you get on top of a tank. The first thing you're going to do, we got chapters 3, 7, 8, 11, 12, and 17 in general. First thing, chapter 3, you're going to gauge. That's the first thing you do when you get on top of a tank. What's the next thing you do? Chapter 7, temperatures. That's what you do on top of a tank. Next, chapter 8, you're going to sample. Then you got chapters 11 and 12. You're going to go to the office, look at the chart, write some calculations down. 11 and 12 deal with calculations. And then, of course, the last thing you do, you go on the vessel. Chapter 17 is a vessel. It's marine. Okay, you should have that in your head. Just think about what you do when you get on top of a tank. Okay, so I'll go over now how to measure the items in an individual chapter. Let's start with the first section. That's going to be 8.1, 0.2, 0.3, chapters 11, 0.1, 0.2, 0.5, and chapter 12, 0, and 0.3. So just remember that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 0, 3. And what are we going to write next to that? We're going to write this. We're going to write, I've got a Mac, I've got a PC, I buy my drugs at CVS. So if you can remember that little mnemonic, I've got a Mac, I got a PC, I buy my drugs at CVS. What do I do with that? M, manual. Manual sampling. A, automatic. Automatic sampling. C, containers. Which containers I'm going to use for sampling. Then we have 11. These are going to be calculations, different types. These are keywords that you're going to find in the chapter headings. Keyword here for P is pressure. Okay, so that's pressure, and this is compressor. Compressibility. Ability. So that's how you remember that C, because you have this C and that C. The difference is pressure, then compressibility. Then for D, we're going to have density. That's going to be a keyword in the title. C, 12.0, is about calculations. So CALC, calculations. And VS, volume shrinkage. That's how you remember the chapters. 8, 1, 2, and 3. Mac, I got a Mac, I got a PC, I get my drugs at CVS. Manual, automatic, containers, pressure, compressibility, density, calculations, volume shrinkage. These are just keywords in the titles for each chapter. So when you're getting questions, you'll have multiple choice answers, and you look for those keywords. But you can go, as soon as you get into the test, you write this down. It doesn't take long. Because they give you scrap paper and all that. The next is all about chapter 17. Okay, the way to remember 17. So now we'll go over how to remember 17. All right, so the numbers you're going to write down are 17, 1 through 9, omitting number 7. So just keep in mind, 17, I omit 7. So it's 17.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.8, and 0.9. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I'm going to give you a little visualization of a little scenario that doesn't really make sense in the real world, but it'll help you remember it. The thing to remember is Marina measures fresh water robots voyaging in lines loading VES. So you say that sentence to you and try to visualize what that looks like. Marina measures freshwater robots voyaging in lines loading VES. So the question is, what am I doing with that? Well, Marina is going to be, it's guidelines for marine measurements is 17.1. Marine, that's a key word. And this is measuring vessels. That's the key word in the title. Measurements. Freshwater, it's obviously finding fresh water. Robots is ROB, OBQ. Voyaging is voyage analysis, VAR. In line is line displacements, LD. Loading is preloading operations, procedures. And obviously VEF is about VEF. I couldn't come up with any kind of suitable mnemonic for that. But anyway, that's what you have to measure. And I'm going to see if I can get a little AI video for you to get that in your head. Marina measures freshwater robots voyaging in lines loading VES. The way I visualize it is a woman down at a pool measuring those robots that clean the bottom of the pool, and they're voyaging in line. How do they load VES? Who knows? But it's in your head. That's the only thing that matters, that it's in your head. Okay, and that's it.